Hey everybody, welcome back to Geometry. This is chapter 4.2 with Mrs. Gunn. We're going to be talking about angle measure today. Grab a copy of your guided notes and let's get started. Okay, the first postulate we have today is postulate 4.1, the protractor postulate. If you don't already have a protractor, you need one for this lesson, so make sure you pick up one. You can get them cheap at Walmart or even the drugstore, or Publix carries them anywhere. Okay, the protractor postulate says for every angle A, there corresponds a positive real number less than or equal to 180, and that should say 180 degrees. And we show degrees with a little circle, okay? And so we can say that the measure of angle A, that's what this means, the measurement of angle A is between 0 and 180 degrees. Okay, so this guarantees that you can measure any angle. And that angle is going to have a measurement between 0 degrees and 180 degrees. Okay, next postulate. Before we do the next postulate, let me back up. Let me give you a definition that's not on your notes, but you can write it in. Definition: the measure of an angle is the real number that corresponds to a particular angle. The measure of an angle is the real number that corresponds to a particular angle. Okay, now postulate 4.2, the continuity postulate, says that if K is a half plane determined by, and this should be line AC, you can fix that in your notes, then for every real number, there's some K between 0 and 180 degrees. There is exactly one ray, an AB that lies in K such that angle BAC is equal to X. What does that mean? Oh, this K right here should be X. Change that to X. X is between 0 and 180 degrees. So let's look at a picture. Here's a plane, and so now I've made half planes because I put a line in it, right? And what does it say? If a half plane is determined by AC, line AC, then for every real number x between 0 and 180 degrees, there is exactly one ray, AB, that lies in plane, half plane K, such that the measure of angle BAC is x degrees. So here's what measure of angle BAC would look like. If I made that B, then there's some number that corresponds to that measurement. If I made angle BAC come out here, then there's some number that corresponds to that measurement. Or if I made angle BAC come out here like this, there's another measurement that corresponds to the size of that angle. Okay, that's what that means. This continuity postulate allows you to measure any angle. I'm sorry, to draw an angle of any measure. Between 0 and 180. postulates 4.1 and 4.2 are converse. They say the opposite things. Okay, so the next thing in our notes are some angle classifications. You might have heard some of these words before. An acute angle is an angle whose measurement is less than 90 degrees and greater than 0 degrees. So something that looks like that or like that. Okay. A right angle measures 90 degrees. I didn't draw it to look like 90 degrees, but it would be a box corner. And often if you see in the math book that symbol, that means right angle, 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle, I should say x equals 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle who has measurement greater than 90, ran out of room there, and less than 180 degrees. So something that looks like that would be obtuse. A straight angle is an angle that's open all the way up so that the vertex is right in the middle, but it makes a straight line. It equals 180 degrees. And congruent angles are angles that have the same measure. And the symbol, again, we've already talked about this, is an equal sign with a squiggle wave above it. Okay? So if I said angle A is congruent to angle B, that's how you would write it. Okay, with that symbol. Now the next thing on here, let me fill in the blank, is about how to measure angles. All right, and it's kind of hard for me to do this drawing. I've attached a link to the homework on nGrade for a video on YouTube where someone demonstrates to you how to use a protractor, but I'm going to try to explain it as well as I can. When you buy a protractor, you're going to notice that there is a little hole right here in the center there. And this one actually has a hole up here too, but you don't need that hole necessarily. That one has one there. And the way you use this is if you want to measure an angle, for example, maybe an angle that looks like this, and I'm going to draw one in as if it's under the protractor. What you want to do is put the vertex of the angle so that the vertex is in that point, and then you want to line up the protractor with the other arm of it, like that, okay? So you're going to pick one line, one ray actually. You're going to put the vertex here in the hole, line it up with this 0 degree line right here, and then you're going to look. You're going to start from the side that counts from 0. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. This angle measures 50 degrees. How do you know not to start with these numbers on the outside? Well, because this is our 0 degree line. We count up from 0, so you wouldn't go 170, 160, 150. You would count on the inside with the lower numbers this way. If you had an angle that was oriented the other direction, like maybe if you put the vertex here and you lined up your 0 line on that side, and maybe it goes here, Well, then you would read it from the other side. So let's see. I would look here from the 0 and I would count up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 like that. So that angle on that side is 60 degrees. Okay, that's how you use it to measure. And you'll see in the video, you can actually see somebody measuring. And the same thing works if you're asked to draw an angle of a certain measure. You could use your protractor. Here it is. If I want to draw an angle that's 57 degrees, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a straight line, and I'm going to line up, I'm going to draw a ray actually, I'm going to line up that ray with my 0 mark like that. And if I want to draw a 57 degree angle, I'm going to look here and count up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 57 is going to be right about there, approximately. And so now what I'm going to do is draw a ray from the vertex through that 57 degree point, 57 degree mark right there, and I just drew a 57 degree angle. What if I was asked to draw a 122 degree angle? Well, I would do the same thing. I would start with drawing a line, not a line, a ray, and I would line up the end point of the ray so that it's on my 0 line. Now I'm going to count up from 0 to 122. So I'm going to come all the way over here, 100, 110, 120. 122 is going to be right about there. Okay, I can put the dot out there even though I see that it's about 122, right about there. So then I'm going to use my straight edge and I'm going to connect that vertex to the points that I drew. And that angle is 122 degrees. And that's how you use a protractor to measure an angle and how to draw an angle. So make sure you check out those videos if you're still not clear about how to do it. You always start counting up from 0 on the side with your ray that's on the bottom, and then count up from 0 the direction that the ray opens up. Okay, so I think that's everything you need for the homework, except for the protractor. Make sure you pick one up so you can do your homework. See you soon. Bye.